am I too late to buy Bitcoin? I probably get 100 DMs a day asking me, Brian, am I too late? First off, I'm a mortgage broker, so I am not a professional cryptocurrency trader, but I am obsessed with learning different strategies on investing. And I found cryptocurrency and I really changed my mind about it last year. And so I learned everything I can. Let's backtrack so I can kind of teach you guys something so you guys can understand if you're too late to buy Bitcoin or not, and how high I think it's going to go. First, you need to understand is what is it, right? Well, Bitcoin is a network, and that network is on a blockchain network. Think of every block as a math problem, right? And as a person, let's say there's 10 of us in the room. And what we have to do is we have to do an example like this. We got to say, okay, the first problem is 4 plus 6. So one person in line goes up and they say 10. Then I got to go to the back of line. Then number 2 comes up and they got to go 10 plus 6. Okay, that's 16. Then I go to the back of line. Then the third person comes up and they go 16 plus 6. And we do that in a line. That is what mining is they're basically solving math problems, and you have to solve this problem. You can't solve it until this one's done. So what Bitcoin mining is basically solving these math problems on these blocks. And when you get to the end of the page, if you happen to be the individual that solves that last math problem, which truthfully is just sheer probability, then guess what? By doing this blockchain, and you're the last person to solve that problem, the last coder to do it, you get given Bitcoin. And that's how people were able to program on the Bitcoin network, and they got it done for free. It's because they rewarded them, and Bitcoin, the blockchain network, is the most secure network in the world. So how much did they give them? Well, when they started off giving them 50 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. Then after 4 years, or technically it's 210,000 blocks. So what that means is after 210,000 pages are solved of those math problems where you have to solve this one, you can't solve it until this one is done. So you do all those down, get one page. You got to do that 210,000 times, and that is completely done. That cycle is done. And what happens is when that cycle is done, this 50 Bitcoin you got every 10 minutes, as soon as you go to 211,000 blocks, this gets cut in half, and now you only get 25 Bitcoin given every 10 minutes. So what happens is every 210,000 blocks, they call it a halving cycle, meaning half as much Bitcoin is given out for the next 210,000 blocks. And those halving cycles happened in 2012. So what happened in 2012? It went down to 25 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. Then in 2016, when we finished 210,000 blocks, then it went down to 12 and a half. Then what happened last year around May when we solved the 210,000th block since that 2016 started over? We get halved again. So in May, approximately, we now only get 6.25 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. So, and this run goes its way until 21 million Bitcoin are put into circulation, which is somewhere, I believe, around 2030. Well, it's a brilliant, brilliant strategy because think about it. The more awareness something gets and more people want something, right, what happens? They want it, they want it. Like, I'm hearing about it, there's less of it, I want it, I want it. So human greed drives up the price. What happens when this halving cycle takes place? Well, every halving cycle follows a specific strategy. Well, when half of something occurs, guess what happens to the price? It goes up, right? When there's less of something and more demand, the price goes up. So every halving cycle follows a strategy of basically it goes up, it goes down, and these are the bull runs they talk about. So we had them right after a halving cycle. So we had it get crazy in 2013, and then most of you guys remember it went super crazy in 2017, and then now we have a halving cycle again. I just made a video about why this one is so different, so check that one out. But I want to show you, now that we have this history of what happens, how long is Bitcoin going to be able to go up for? We know it started in about May of 2020 when that halving cycle occurred. So what we know is in each one of these cycles, this one happened to be about 13 months of a bull run. This one happened to be about 17 months of a bull run. So we know that the bull runs typically go 13 to 17 months after a halving cycle. Right now, since May 2020, how many blocks have been done, right? So we know approximately since then, there's been about 35,000 blocks that have been completed since Bitcoin dropped in the amount of supply that hits. Well, we know, okay, in these markets, it's roughly about 13 to 17 months. Well, technically, and the reason why it's that difference you can see there is it's not a month time, it's the amount of blocks. Well, guess what? We know that 210,000 blocks is every Bitcoin cycle. And we know that Bitcoin follows a very specific formula. First, it does a bull run, meaning, shoot, there's half of something, I want it, the price goes up. Then, after everybody buys it in these previous times, then it goes into a bear market, meaning it goes down. So bulls strike hitting up, so the price goes up. Bears swipe going down, so the price goes down. That's an easy way to remember. Then, after that, it consolidates, okay? Meaning it gets a correction somewhere in between there until the next halving cycle, which in this case will be in 2024 roughly. And then now we're only going to get in 2024, roughly a little over 3 Bitcoin, 3.125 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. If we know it runs in this cycle, and we know a cycle is 210,000 blocks, well, guess what? How does this cycle fare? It's typically right down the middle. So you got 70,000 blocks in a bull run, 70,000 blocks in a bear run, and 70,000 blocks in a consolidation run. And that's what it's done each of these times. When is this bull run going to stop? Well, I'm not going to guess. I'm going to look exactly what these other ones do. So if I know a bull run is typically 70,000 blocks, okay, after Bitcoin supply drops, okay, I need to know where I'm at today, where I just told you too. We're 35,000 blocks in as of February 2021. So what does that tell me? That means I'm halfway there in my bull run, halfway there. Now, mind you, during this 70,000 block bull run, okay, the real run of Bitcoin, even though we halved in May, price really didn't start going up until like November-ish, right? So October, November, we started doing that. So personally, I believe that we're going to be in this bull run till about November, December of this year. Now, mind you, it's not a straight up journey, right? Typically the way all price action kind of moves, let me just erase this real quick, is like this. So if you want price to go up, price goes up and then it draws down. Price goes up, it draws down. Comes here, it goes up, goes down. It's not like a linear line that just goes like this, right? Typically in a bull run, you'll see about 2 to 3 30% drawdown. So think about it this way. What happened is Bitcoin made a run up to about 20,000 or so, then it ran real fast all the way up to about 40,000, then it drew back down to about 28. So last month we had a drawdown, that was one of them. So I think we have about 1 or 2 more drawdowns. So when you're looking at trying, should I get into the Bitcoin market? What should I do? 1, yes, for long term. Is the price going to drop? Should we probably have a 20 to 30% price drop? Yeah, we'll probably have 1 or 2 of them before this bull run opens. But the big difference is it's not too late. My personal opinion, I think we're going to hit around 50 to 58,000. We're going to consolidate there, maybe draw down a little bit, and then I think we're going to see a run up. And I think by the end of the year, we'll probably be somewhere in the $85 to $120,000 range before that. We have Bitcoin now at $900 billion market cap. Bitcoin has a higher market cap than Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and Citibank. Okay, it means they are worth more than those institutions are. Think about that. That was not even close to being the case, right? So in those bear markets, yes, they will happen, but they will not be the absolute obliteration. So you aren't too late. I know this was a lot of information. Watch it again, but the answer is don't try to time the market. Buy a little bit every time you can. Don't waste every cent. Don't buy it on credit cards. Buy when you can buy it, get in and hold, because my opinion is we're about halfway done in the bull run.